Hello friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Yeah, summer is here, my friends. It is hot and toasty, so we're going to have some hot and toasty deals for you online, and we're going to continue some of the other sales that we have going on. So we have got some annuals that are 50% off, so stay tuned for that. But first, little housekeeping. It is really warm for the vast majority of the country. We are all currently under pretty high extreme temperatures. Therefore, we are not shipping plants this week. As I posted in social media, we want your plants to arrive happy and healthy, not crispy and crusty. So we are going to kind of hold off on shipping for at least this week until temperatures return back to normal, and then we will get them into your hands ASAP. Again, we want you to have the best plants possible, and the last thing we need to do is to stick some live plants in boxes, and they absolutely roast in the box. So all shipping is held off for this week with plants. Also, this video is coming out on Wednesday. The Garden Center today, Wednesday, June the 25th, is going to be open from 8 a.m. to noon. This is going to be one of the warmest days, so we are going to have some adjusted hours. We have put that all over social media. We have to keep our staff healthy, right, and safe. And so the temperatures are really hot, and so we're going to work from 8 to 12 this Wednesday. Should go back to normal hours later on this week. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday will be those normal operating hours of 9 to 3. Y'all, just a little word of some, this should be pretty obvious. If you're going to come to the garden center, the earlier the better, right? Because it is quite warm. And as you know, we don't have air conditioning at the garden center. So I think those are the housekeeping notes to say. So what is 50% off? Well, what we have at the garden center and here online, all of your caladiums are still 50% off. So the caladiums, both at the garden center and here online, are 50% off. Y'all, these are beautiful full quart size containers that you are going to get a stunning caladium. This is one of those plants that absolutely thrives in the heat and humidity. We literally are watching our caladiums at the house grow every single day. It is hot for us. The caladiums could care less. They, in fact, absolutely love these kinds of temperatures and this weather. So you can go check online. They are right there on the home page, those caladiums. So you can look at that, and I will try to remember to put a link in for the caladiums. All caladiums 50% off. Also, what's 50% off are the Sunpatiens. So online, Sunpatiens, are we going to do this at the garden center too, honey? Yeah, okay. So at the garden, so this will be both online and at the garden center. Your Sunpatiens are 50% off. Now, they are stunning and they are beautiful. They are a little tall. So if you get...
They do get 2 feet tall.
They do. So like Jerry said, they get 2 feet tall. So you're going to get a nice size plant. Okay, y'all, they're 50% off. Are they a little tall? Are they completely perfect and full? No, they're not. What do? You literally stick it in the ground, wait a week, and they're going to fill out and be happy. I was planting these exact plants in the garden right before the signature experience. So you're good to go. If you want to chop them off, you can, or just leave them alone, put them in those containers in the landscape, and they will be quite happy. So we have got a beautiful selection of the Sunpatiens, 50% off. We also have a great selection of the Surefire Cherry Cordial. So this is what is right here. These two are 50% off. If you have been watching us for any length of time, you know that I am a huge fan of the Surefire begonias. Y'all, this is a gorgeous annual that can do sun or shade. They'll get to be in that, I want to say that 2 foot tall also. Yeah, 2 feet tall. Containers, landscape, you name it. Once you get this in the ground, they're going to have like near black foliage with those red flowers. So Surefire Cherry Cordial, that is 50% off. And then we're going to make our way.
Look at these beautiful grasses.
Exactly. So these are the perennial grasses. This is a patchy rose. Beautiful. It's not 50% off. Not yet. And so, yeah, this is the season for grasses. It is a gorgeous, beautiful plant. We love the patchy rose. And also, while we're standing here, I want Jerry to show you the Dream Girl Phlox. This phlox is new from Walter's Gardens. It is not a Proven Winners. It is from Walter's Gardens. There is no powdery mildew on this plant. In my garden, there's no powdery mildew. My other paniculata phloxes have powdery mildew. Dream Girl does not. I love this Dream Girl. So just as a side note, as we are walking, we probably need to come back and do I think we need to do a perennial tour, because dear heavens, there is some gorgeous things happening on right here. Plum Dandy, look at this. Is this 50% off? Sure, why not? We're making Plum Dandy 50% off too. This is like a wheeling and dealing. Let's make a deal. So Plum Dandy is a beautiful annual that is an accent plant. It is not going to flower, but it is stunning. It brings gorgeous color, contrast of color to your plants. Speaking of, take a Plum Dandy and pair it with the pentas. So you have got this deep, deep purple with the Sunstar pentas, whether you want lavender, you want that rose. There's like 2 pinks left, right? So this is a great companion accent piece to the Sunstar pentas that are 50% off too. So Plum Dandy's 50%, Sunstar pentas are 50%. If you're confused about what is 50% off and what is not, y'all click on the video description. It'll start talking and it says more. Click on that and I will have all of these plants listed with a link. There is no code needed. You don't need to put in a code. We will have them already marked for you, 50% off on the website.
This is a good one to get in the ground now. It's going to give you that fall look.
Yes, exactly. So the fans are on. I don't know if you could hear Jerry, but he said this is one of those plants that you want to put in the ground now that is going to take you into fall beautifully. It is going to give you stunning fall color and will be a great, beautiful plant in your fall garden. Okay, I think that's it for up here. So we are going to head down to the garden center and glisten a little more. All right, my friends, so we are down here at the greenhouse and show you just really quickly, because it's quite toasty in here, the caladiums, those same annuals that are 50% off. Stay tuned, because we're going to move to the pines, show you a couple of things, and then I'm going to give you my tips on how you and your plants can survive this crazy heat. So here we have gorgeous caladiums. Here at the garden center, we also have them not only as quartz, but we also have them at the 8-inch. So whether you buy a quart or the 8-inch, they are still that 50% off. This is Vava Violet. That is a shade-loving caladium. Remember, your caladiums, most of them can do sun or shade. There are a few that will do shade only, but that's on the tag. You can see here the Hot to Trot, one of my absolute favorites, that is sun or shade. Y'all, I'm telling you, if you've had a container, maybe you've gone on vacation already, you came back, the container had bit the dust, keep it simple, sweetie. Throw some caladiums in there. Trust me, you will love them. So we've got those caladiums. We've got more caladiums here. And then out here in the sun, these are the Sunpatiens here. So again, all of these Sunpatiens, 50% off. We've got some Plum Dandy in there. So that too is 50% off. I think the only thing I don't have down here is a Cherry Cordial. Maybe we'll bring a couple of trays down here. So if you're interested, you can have those as well. So we're gonna mosey. So what we're doing, how are we surviving this heat? How are our plants surviving the heat? Well, what we're doing is water, 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 water. We have moved all of the shrubs, the limelight trees, all of those plants that were kind of out as display plants that we had to hand water. We have moved them under here, the pergola, because of the irrigation. So not only are we hand watering these still because they're still so big, but we're coming back, we're letting them get hit with the overhead irrigation because it cools the plant off and it helps with the water. It gives them a little bit of water, but it gets water on the leaves and it's cooling the plants down. Don't be afraid. I mean, I personally have never experienced, I'll see this on social media about, well, I shouldn't get the leaves wet because it'll burn. No, in this heat, a lot of times because the plant not only absorbs some moisture through the leaves, but it cools the plant down. And it is crazy hot. It is going to be very hot. And so we want to cool everything down and keep those roots as moisturized and well watered as we possibly can. So that is my number one tip to you, is water, 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 water. Now, you're like, well, Jenny, you're sitting here talking about, you know, that I should come buy plants. Well, it's too hot to plant plants. With your annuals, if you're going to take them out of that container and put them, especially like out of the nursery pot into a container with fresh soil, they're going to love it. They're going to absolutely explode. Now, would I recommend you plant a hydrangea this week? No, I wouldn't. But you know what I do is when there are sales and when there's a plant special and I see something, whether it's the appropriate time for me to buy it, I mean to plant it or not, I go ahead and buy it and keep it watered. If it's too hot for you to plant this week, no problem. Come out to the nursery, get the good deal, because every week we change these deals. So next week, those Sunpatiens are not going to be 50% off. Come grab them, put them in a little bit of a cooler spot, keep them watered. The next week when it cools down, then you can plant them in your landscape if you want to. But take advantage of those deals. If you want to put them in containers, they would do really well in containers because they're going to have extra soil that holds that water, and they're going to be very happy. There is no need to fertilize. We don't really want to fertilize right now in the heat. We're not trying to push out new growth in the crazy heat. We're trying to sustain those plants. So I'm taking a break this week and not doing water-soluble fertilizer for my annuals. I am not fertilizing. This is not the time to prune, y'all. Let's wait. Wait till the temperatures return to somewhat normal, and then if you want to prune, go ahead and prune. My zebra macrophylla hydrangea, it needs to be pruned. I waited till the signature experience was over, and I'm ready to prune. Am I going to prune this week? No, I am not. I'm going to wait for the temperatures to reduce a little bit, and then I can go in there and trim it. We don't want to add extra stress to the plant. Water, 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 water. Please don't transplant any plants right now. Please do not dig up a plant and try to move it in this crazy heat. It is not going to go well for you or the plant, okay? So what's the number one thing we're going to be doing in the extreme heat? Water. That's right. Keep your plants watered, and then once the temperatures return to normal, which I think is next week, then we can kind of go back to our regularly scheduled programming in the garden, all right? So just to give you an update, I don't know, I can't remember if we talked about this container or not. I think we did, but just to give you an update on how everybody is doing really well. I'm thinking that when Brian chose the sweet potato vine, he chose the upside because she's going down though, but she is kind of climbing a little bit. But that gorgeous, we've got the calicasia here, beautiful, the phlox, everything. So this is doing really, really well. So coming on over, we are, of course, have the irrigation going in here. So we have that overhead irrigation going. If you do not have irrigation, because I have quite a few gardens that do not have irrigation, what I'm doing is I am getting up super early in the morning and I am watering. If you can use a hose, use the hose. You want them nice and saturated. And like with my, for example, like with my hydrangeas, not only am I shooting at the roots, right? That's primarily where I'm shooting, but I go ahead and douse down the whole plant also. Get the plant to cool off, kind of rehydrate any of those leaves that need some extra water. But my main focus is the root system. So we're watering early in the morning, nice and deep soaking. If we do that every day, then they should be fine. If your plants are perky in the morning, then that means that they're nice and hydrated. But because of the extreme heat we're having, go ahead and give them another drink of water. If you come to your hydrangeas in the morning and they're very limp, that means they're not getting enough water. It is very common for your hydrangeas in this crazy heat midday to be wilted. It's what we call heat wilt. Just like we kind of wilt when we've been out in the sun, your hydrangeas will do the same. But as soon as that sun goes off of them, they should perk back up. If they're not perky in the morning, they need water ASAP. And if you don't get water on them, you could lose them. Okay, so that's a little tip for you. But everything is doing quite well. Again, lots of options for you to come to shop. If you're in the region, we would love to have you, of course, Wednesdays through Saturdays, 9 to 3, except for today, Wednesday, June the 25th, 8 to 12. Jerry, am I missing anything? This is a very short, quick garden tour today because it's toasty, it's warm, and the main theme of today is water, water, water. And then of course, those annuals that are 50% off. My online people, we will send them to you as soon as the temperatures return to normal, which should be this following Monday. So this is Wednesday. We will begin shipping out on Monday. So again, please pay attention to that tracking information. You'll get an email as soon as your order processes with a tracking information from FedEx. Watch that. As soon as they get there to your house, open up the box, take them out, give them a drink of water, put them kind of in a shady, cool area, let them get acclimated, and then you can go ahead and plant them. Again, when you get those plants and you put them in the ground or a container, those first couple of weeks are especially important. Watch them every day, check on them every day, make sure they have enough water. Don't overwater, just make sure that they have enough. If you have any questions, of course, just let us know. All right, my friends, we're gonna go back into the air conditioning now because all my watering is done for the day. As always, we hope you found this fun, informative, and inspirational. If you have, we would love it if you would like and subscribe to Gardening with Creekside. Yeah, we're gonna go have a fantastic day. I hope you do as well. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.